He was having to fight to maintain the control and even backed out a couple of times. Reinier de Ridder's probably the only guy that could do that.
Do you feel like Khamzat's the most feared opponent in your division?
Not by me. I think there's better fighters in the division, to be honest. More complete guys. I think we don't really talk about him as much. But the French guy, what's his name?
Imavov?
Imavov. He's very complete. He moves very well, very relaxed, very smart when he fights. I think that might be a harder fight.
The new middleweight champion Khamzat Chimaev has called out Reinier de Ridder after his dominant win over Dricus du Plessis at UFC 319. Khamzat wants to fight Reinier next, as he's the only guy who's making sense at the moment. Khamzat simply mentioned RDR's name in his latest tweet to warn him that the wolf is coming for him next. Reinier de Ridder also accepted the fight, as he was waiting for this opportunity for a long time and asked Khamzat to send him the location. Reinier de Ridder responded. Khamzat Chimaev even got confused with a fake account and replied to him, thanking him of the real RDR. Khamzat said, "I'm gonna make you look like a white belt Habibi." Before UFC 319, Reinier de Ridder said preparing for Khamzat Chimaev would be easier than preparing for Dricus du Plessis. He explained that Khamzat had a more typical style, and he could bring in Dagestani and Chechen wrestlers to mimic him. Dricus, however, was harder to figure out because of his unorthodox approach. De Ridder added that if Dricus won, he might also become the bigger name.
He would be like an easier guy to prepare for. Not that he is an easier fight, but is more of a typical style. I can bring a couple of Dagestanis and a couple Chechens in who wrestle pretty similar to Khamzat. Mm-hmm. He boxes pretty cleanly, boxing style. So yeah, that is not that spectacular. It's spectacular. It's not that special in a sense that it's not as weird as Dricus is, you know. Mm-hmm. So it'll be harder to prepare for him, but he might, if he wins, he might be the bigger name. But in my mind, I'm fighting both those guys in the next 6 to 9 months anyway.
Meanwhile, Khamzat Chimaev said he is fit after UFC 319 and is open to a quick turnaround in Abu Dhabi. Khamzat Chimaev is confident that he's ready to fight anyone in Abu Dhabi, and he doesn't care about contenders and is only focused on wherever the UFC chooses to send him.
Do you still want to turn around and fight in Abu Dhabi?
We'll see what they say. I'm ready always, so no injuries. Thanks, God.
Who do you think is the most deserving contender to challenge you for that belt first?
I don't care about these things, bro. I just, where they give the money, I fight anyone.
Dana White also admitted that he would definitely consider Khamzat Chimaev fighting in Abu Dhabi soon, and when asked if it made sense with the heavyweight title already on that card, Dana explained that fighters often want quick turnarounds and said he would be open to it. He acknowledged there were plenty of contenders in the mix, mentioning recent wins and upcoming fights, and added that he was waiting to see how things played out before making the decision.
He had said all fight week he wants to turn around and fight in Abu Dhabi. Is that something you would consider, or do you feel like with the heavyweight title already on that card, like he maybe...
I just had a kid fight Tuesday and wanted to turn around and come here. I would... Abu Dhabi, I would definitely consider.
Yeah, and I mean, so many great potential contenders right now, right? We had the great Fluffy win, Reinier de Ridder. We have a huge fight in Paris. Are you just kind of waiting for the Paris one and then maybe see the lay of the land of who could be next?
I'm waiting for Tuesday. And then but yeah, I agree with everything you just said.
On the other hand, Arman Tsarukyan revealed that Khamzat Chimaev wanted to strike in the 4th round, but he told him to stick with the game plan. He explained that Khamzat asked if he could stand and move around, but Arman advised him to keep doing the same thing since he was already ahead and there was no need to change strategy.
Знаешь, что мне Хамзат говорит в 3-м раунде? Когда на 4-й идти, он говорит: брат, теперь можно, говорит, на стойке подвигаться? Я говорю: нет, говорю, заходи, то же самое делай, говорит, 3-0 выиграешь, зачем тебе придумывать что-то новое? Он хотел подвигаться на стойке, говорю: нет, говорю.
Arman Tsarukyan also revealed the advice he gave Khamzat before the fight. He told him not to brawl or let emotions take over, warning that it was the only way he could lose. Instead, he advised Khamzat to stick to wrestling, control positions, and focus on winning rounds rather than rushing for submissions and risking losing position.
Главное бой был бороть его.
Да.
Не пытаться не входить в размер. Я сразу Хамзату перед боем сказал: ты лучше везде его.
Да.
Ты можешь проиграть только тогда, когда ты будешь с ним рубиться и показывать эти эмоции. Если ты пропустил, не форсировать события, не пытаться с ним заходить в эту руку. Просто технически обыгрывать. Ты лучше его 100 раз борешься, лучше боксируешь. И если ты его борешь, если ты его контролируешь, контролируй, никуда не спеши, не пытайся выходить сразу на болевой, чтобы потерять позицию. Лучше выиграть раунды спокойно, а чем выйти на болевой, не заделать, потерять позицию, еще раз его переводить. Из-за этого он спокойно, да, он спокойно стоял, работал, и мы его успокаивали, чтобы он, допустим, не форсировал события, просто контролировал, бил. Зачем? У нас задача стояла выиграть титул, мы ее выполнили.
Arman further shared that before the fourth round, Khamzat Chimaev asked if he could box with Dricus du Plessis, but Arman told him to stay with the game plan. He reminded Khamzat that everything was already working, the focus was on winning the title, and if there was a chance to take him down, he should take it.
Чтобы он шел за нокаутом, за финишем, он мог бы где-то сделать ошибку и проиграть бой. То есть цена по риску. Да, рисковать, если у тебя все получается. В третьем раунде он мне говорит, а сейчас могу я побоксировать? Я говорю, нет, Хамзат, у тебя все получается, сразу видишь, где можно перевести, переводи и контролируй. Не нужно ничего придумать. Если ты выиграешь 3 раунда в этом темпе, зачем что-то менять, зачем что-то придумать?
Круто, что еще Хамзат начал слушаться, знаешь, кого-то.
Он мне еще так говорит, сейчас могу на стойке подвигаться? Я говорю, нет.
Мне тоже этот вопрос был интересен от него именно.
И такой, знаешь, он стал такой обиженный, как будто сейчас опять бороться. Он такой обиженный пошел.
Meanwhile, Henry Cejudo called Khamzat Chimaev's performance at UFC 319 one of the most dominant championship fights in UFC history. He praised Chimaev's ability to close distance, shoot with precision, and maintain relentless conditioning. Kamaru Usman agreed, noting that while Dricus du Plessis was dangerous and tough, he had no answer once Chimaev secured the takedown and locked his hands. Both highlighted the top control, folk-style wrestling, and eventual crucifix position, saying Chimaev punished DDP for all 5 rounds.
I mean, you're talking about the most dominant championship fight in UFC history, man. I talk about just getting dominant. Khamzat, he gets close to people, and then he has a really good penetration shot. But what makes Khamzat Chimaev special is his conditioning, man.
Look, I kept saying this. Dricus du Plessis is very dangerous and very, very tough. But once he realized he could get this fight down to the ground, and when he locked his hand, Dricus had no answer for it. What a brilliant performance.
DDP had no answer, man. From getting taken down, top riding folk-style wrestling, to eventually just getting crucifixed. He punished them all 5 rounds.
Kamaru Usman noted that Chimaev's power wrestling exposed holes in Dricus du Plessis' game, especially since he hadn't faced that style in years. He said, even with some sloppy entries, Chimaev's strength carried him through. Henry Cejudo added that while Dricus had been hyped as a future 2-division threat after big wins, Chimaev shut that down with one of the most dominant performances of his career.
I said this, we haven't seen Dricus du Plessis fight a wrestler since Derek Brunson, and we saw how that fight was looking early on. Khamzat Chimaev is a very confident wrestler, and even in the striking, he was doing well. I didn't love his entries, but man, when you are just this strong.
Did you see my tweet, man? This must be the most dominant championship performance by any UFC fighter in UFC championship history. He got out wrestled, he got out controlled. There are some rounds where you can go 10-7. A champion that people were thinking, this kid could potentially go up and even become light heavyweight champion of the world. The way he was disposing of Israel Adesanya, Robert Whitaker, Sean Strickland, that says a lot of what Khamzat has done.
Kamaru Usman and Henry Cejudo further talked about the fight, and Kamaru didn't like Henry's claim that Dricus du Plessis lacked proper training partners. Henry argued that without top-level wrestlers like Pat Downey and Camp, Dricus couldn't prepare for Khamzat Chimaev's control. Usman acknowledged the point, but stressed that developing the ability to escape those positions takes years, and even with better players, it wouldn't have changed the result against Khamzat.
I don't think he had the right training partners for this camp, dude. I really don't, man. I think
stop that.
No,
stop.
He beat his ass.
Are you trying to tell me different training partners would have changed what we saw in there?
He would have been a little more.
Look at the positions that we saw. You were crucified 3 out of the 5 rounds.
You have to get top collegiate Division I wrestlers to really understand. You know who Khamzat Chimaev had in his training camp? Pat Downey, world team member, All-American. The dude knows wrestling. You came from folk-style wrestling. If you're able to get out from bottom, dude, you're gonna need specialists in that area. Not every coach knows everything.
Folk-style getting off bottom, having experience experience at. I agree with you on that aspect. But Henry, that takes years to develop. Being on all fours,
it's a start.
I do agree. I agree. It is a start, but with the level that Khamzat is on, I don't think it would have made that big of a difference.
We could agree to disagree.
Definitely.
Brendan Schaub was also amazed by Khamzat's performance at UFC 319 and even compared his performance to pitching a no-hitter in baseball. He said it was incredibly impressive, but admitted he understood why some fans found it boring. Schwab explained that if people looked past the entertainment factor, they would see that Khamzat completely dominated Dricus du Plessis in a fight that was never competitive.
What Khamzat did is basically like throwing a no-hitter in baseball. It's so impressive. You're like, oh my God, they are dominating. But it's actually pretty boring to watch. But what you should do, if you can step back from the entertainment side of things, step back, you have to realize what Khamzat did to DDP was an absolute demolished him. It wasn't a competitive fight.
Brendan Schwab said he enjoyed Khamzat Chimaev's performance, noting that dominating a fighter like Dricus du Plessis for 25 minutes was remarkable. He compared it to pitching a shutout in baseball, effective but not always exciting. Schwab added that the only way to beat someone like Khamzat is by catching him, which he believed was very unlikely, predicting Khamzat could reign for a long time.
Again, I enjoyed it because seeing a guy like DDP at his level and his wins, and you look at his resume, like, holy, to do that to a guy for 25 minutes is wild. He pitched a shutout. Again, if you're a baseball fan and you watch your team pitch a shutout, it's not that exciting. The only way to beat a guy like Khamzat, a guy like Merab, is by catching them. And the odds of catching them are low. These guys are going to reign for a very, very, very long time. So if you don't like that style, I feel bad for you.
Max Holloway also reacts to Khamzat Chimaev's performance against Dricus du Plessis by joking that he might lose his own record for most significant strikes. While watching the fight live, Max said Chimaev looked like he was on pace to land 1,000 shots and admitted it would be nearly impossible for anyone else ever to top that.
He's not tired yet. Maybe he might go 5 rounds. Nah, he punching him hard. Now you elbow.
There.
Yeah. Now you elbow. Plus, he gonna beat me for the most significant strike sliding, bro.
Yeah.
He gonna have 1,000, bro. No one ever gonna beat him, bro. He gonna have 1,000. Unreal. Bro, he's already there, bro.
Meanwhile, Paddy Pimblett defended Khamzat Chimaev's performance, saying only casual fans would dislike the fight. He explained that true MMA followers would appreciate the levels on display, praising Khamzat's grappling as some of the highest he had ever seen, and calling it a one-sided beatdown.
For the casuals, this isn't going to be like a fun fight to watch, but for people who actually do MMA and are like old school fans, they'll appreciate it because, well, I appreciate it because this is the levels of the game, lad, and Khamzat's grappling levels high, very high. As wrestling and as MMA wrestling's brilliant, lad. I don't know if I've ever seen a fight like this, like champion, such a one-sided beatdown, because Chimaev's nearly won every second of this fight. So what I mean, you know, the crowd are booing, where it's not Khamzat's fault that Dricus can't stop him doing this.
Robert Whittaker also defended Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev, saying only casuals would call it boring. He explained that true fans should be fascinated by Chimaev's ability to completely control someone as relentless as durable as Dricus. Whittaker stressed that such one-sided domination at this level is something rare to witness.
Anyone that says it's a boring fight is a casual, okay? No offense. No offense. Like, you're going to take a little offense. I'm sorry. If you're a fan of the sport, okay, and you're not absolutely fascinated by the ability, like by Chimaev's ability to control someone who's as dogged and fights out of things like Dricus, who's done it time and time again, who's physically never gasses anymore, like super strong, has cardio for days, is prepared for him, has a great headspace. If you're not fascinated by like such a one-sided domination, man, then you're like, you have to be a casual. Because you never see this. Never.
Robert Whittaker added that at a championship level, seeing that kind of control was remarkable. He pointed out that Dricus was stuck in a crucifix for more than half of the fight duration and questioned how any true fan of the sport could watch that and not think it was incredible.
This level at championship fights, this level of control, unreal. Man, we just saw someone get crucifixed for like 15 minutes. Like, how can you be a fan of the sport and not think, wow, that's crazy?
On the other hand, Paulo Costa calls out Khamzat Chimaev and warns him that he knows exactly what's coming. He says Chimaev will rush forward and shoot for his legs, but he's ready for it. Costa makes it clear the fight is 5 rounds and vows to drag Chimaev into deep waters.
What is the message to Khamzat? He's watching right now. What's the message to him? What do you want to say to him?
Gourmet Chechen, look, you know who I am. I'm coming for you. You can hide as much as you want, you know. I know how to fight you. You're gonna rush as you always do. You're gonna do your thing. You're gonna shoot on my legs. I know that. I expect that. I'm ready for that. But then, guess what? We have 5 rounds.
Paulo Costa didn't stop here and added to his heated warning, vowing to punish Khamzat Chimaev every time he shoots for a takedown. He says his coach has prepared him to make Chimaev pay, and once the fight is back in the feet, he plans to inflict serious damage. Costa declares he won't let Chimaev quit and promises to finish the fight by breaking him down completely.
I'm gonna put you to pay for every time that you shoot on my legs. That's what my coach, Eric, taught me to do. I'm gonna make you pay. And then when you're back in the feet, I'm gonna hurt you so badly you want to give up. But I will not let you give up. I will hurt you until the referee stop that fight. I'm coming for you, you know. I will defeat you.
Paulo Costa questions how Khamzat Chimaev will handle true middleweight power, saying things won't be the same as when he fought welterweights. He points out that Chimaev dominated Ikram Aliskerov and Kamaru Usman, but insists that facing a big, strong middleweight will be a different challenge. Costa argues that while fighters like Robert Whittaker are skilled, they don't have the size or strength to stop Chimaev, but a real heavy middleweight will cause him problems.
You guys talking about the fight?
Yeah.
Dricus? He's dominated. He dominated Dricus, but he could not do the same thing that he used to do against welterweights.
Welterweights, yeah.
Like maul the guys, finish the guys. When he face a real middleweight, a really heavy middleweight, he gonna have some problems. That's my thought. He gonna look boring. You mentioned it. All the other fights, he was exciting fight.
Yeah.
Because the guys could handle with him. Even Whittaker. Whittaker is a kind of fast, super high level, but not strong enough to stop a guy like him.
Yeah.
Paulo Costa says Dricus du Plessis is a true middleweight, pointing out that he cuts from over 230 pounds to make the limit. Costa explains that he knows how to deal with fighters of the size and warns that Khamzat Chimaev won't be able to hold him down. He admits Chimaev might get a takedown, but insists he won't be able to keep him there for long.
Dricus is a real middleweight, in my opinion, because he came from, I don't know, maybe 230 pounds, like 105 kilos, to fight at 96 kilos in the fight day. That's what I do. And I know how to handle with these guys. He could not hold me down, even if he took me down. I don't think I'm gonna stay on my feet whole time against him. I think he can put me down, but he will not keep me there.
Paulo Costa also revealed that the UFC advised him not to attend UFC 319 in Chicago due to security concerns. He explained that plans were already made for him to be a guest fighter, but the UFC later told him it was better to stay away because Khamzat Chimaev would be bringing a large entourage to protect him during fight week. Costa said the organization felt it was safer to avoid a potential confrontation, describing how Chimaev always surrounds himself with people to shield him.
Actually, I want to go to Chicago for that fight.
Yeah, why weren't you there?
We had everything set up to Chicago, you know, since after my fight against Kopilov.
Yeah.
We contacted UFC, I contacted them, and okay, we're gonna bring Paulo as guest fighter. But then suddenly okay, Paulo, it's better you not go because Chimaev is bringing like many people surround him to protect him from you, so it's better you not go there, you know, this is a big fight.
They said to protect him from you.
They say that.
Wow.
I can't believe that.
Yes, I'm very surprised. He brought a whole army.
Yeah, they bring. Chimaev is a kind of guy who always walk with some guys to protect him too, you know. So they say it's better you not go there.
So that's all we have from today's video, and hopefully you've enjoyed it. Share your thoughts about who you think is next for Khamzat, Reinier de Ridder, or Paulo Costa. Write your answer in the comment section and subscribe to our channel for more amazing UFC content.